thing I've been doing is moving chapters around, and I do mean wholesale. That's another reason why I took time in the beginning of this journey to talk about the administrative aspects of creating the container, the chapters. I have not merged the document, and no, it would have been a challenge for me. That's why I went to what I call the chunking, the postcard, do your chapters process, because early on in my book writing experience I was working in a singular document, and it was an administrative nightmare trying to find my place and move around. Well, if I need to find something, it's like it's chapter 16. I'm only dealing with 10 pages, and because I have the pages numbered and because I have footers in the document when it's printed out, I don't even have to open up the whole, turn the whole page. I can just corner of the manuscript, and I know exactly where I am. That's not so much the plot as it is the narrative, the how I am sharing the plot, what information I'm sharing, and how I'm sharing it. So just moving stuff around, for me, it's a function of pacing. Is how I move chapters around. It's partly the emotional content, the rise and fall. What we've had. Well, everything's been going along hunky dunky. Now we need some conflict in here, or everything has been pretty predictable. Now we have to do a surprise. I've also been moving chapters around because my novel takes place in two separate time periods, the mid 1980s and today's world, 2014. Because I like novels like this, that's kind of what was happening in my, the boys in the basement were feeding that to me. But if these plots, these two plots in these different periods obviously affect one another. From a structure standpoint, that's how my novel works. So when I've been moving chapters around, function of what and how I want to reveal to the reader. And I want to give enough information so that, it's interesting and people are beginning to put the puzzle together, but not so much information that I steal my own thunder. That's been really easy administratively. I move them in the physical world first, like puzzle pieces. Remember, we're going back to this process. I've introduced them compartmentally. They don't wholly exist in silos. They very much interact. So I'm moving around like puzzle pieces, and then I go to the computer and I go, okay, well, chapter 15 is now chapter. Keep track of that. So that's really been a lot of fun because it's a very dynamic process. When you're working down here and you're dealing with language and you think, okay, well, Edgar doesn't behave this way anymore, so that means that this scene only rings 80% true and I have to change 20%. That's a granular exercise, and I have found, I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's not the sexiest part of this, but of course it does become very important to the reading experience. And that this is also why earlier in this process I encouraged us and myself not to be line by line, because a lot of this stuff is going to change. It drops away, it shifts, and not to be overly attached to the sentence level of your manuscript, particularly before you have gotten feedback.